Oh, Shadow could be good. Like I
Like
think that could be a goer. Like I think there's something in there. But then again, like the whole idea of like a kind of a proverbial kind of like possessed or a kind of like a corrupted Pokemon that you need to break down. If you read into it, has kind of been done to death because you have totems, you have Dynamaxes, you have
that's just
Terrastars, you know.
Pokemon, but that's just Pokemon, but bigger. All of like if you break down Game Freak's ideas since
Mm,
Kalos has been Totem, it's a Pokemon but bigger.
yeah.
Dynamax, it's a Pokemon but bigger. Gigantamax, it's a Pokemon but bigger.
Hmm.
Um, it has redone the same idea a number of times.
Yeah, I agree with
Uh,
you on that. Yeah.
Rastlize, in fairness, is a new concept.
Yes.
But I love the idea of Shadow being thing. And again, call it a corrupted type, call it a nuclear type, call it whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
But like it had in it has enough of a concept that anything that is Shadow is is basically a mutation. And there you go. You don't have to worry about redesigning a whole family out again. You don't have to come up with something stupid like what about Doug Trio, but in a fan of the band Hanson.
Mm.
You can
Yeah. Like
just
I
have
suppose like you could do something quite clever with it. Make like it like with Shadow Lugia, for example, it is essentially a
yeah,
palette swap, but it looks effective. Like it looks aesthetically awesome. You
yeah.
know. Um, like it would be quite a nice thing to do. Like again, there's also my tie-in with what they're doing with Gen 10 in terms of their kind of gimmicks as
You
well.
look at you
So
look up
yeah,
Shadow Mewtwo. Like I think for there was a fighting game, Pokken
Pokken, yeah.
Pokken tournament. Was that a thing, or was that a hallucination involvement?
No, Pokken was a thing. I just don't remember if Shadow Mewtwo was part of that or not. I think
It
it might have
was.
been a
Look it up.
separate thing. Yeah,
Look
I'm
it up.
looking for it now.
Po-
Yeah.
Pokken Mewtwo. Basically, it would be what if
Yeah, it's Pokken. Yeah,
um
yeah, you're right.
yeah, it'd be what if Mewtwo got the Shadow Lugia treatment.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so like something like that, I think would be quite interesting. Where like I would endorse the idea of like say a Shadow Reshiram showing up in Unova 50 years after the events of the
Yeah,
first game. That would be genuinely like, oh shit, that's actually kind of interesting, and someone needs to step up and save that. And then you can like the way we have this at the moment, let's say, of like slowly nursing the Shadow Pokemon back to health. That in itself needs to be the core mechanic of the game. Like you're not like we're the core mechanic of the game here is basically your you're Robin Hooding the Pokemon here essentially.
yeah.
Whereas what I think what you could be doing is like you Unova or your land of choice. I'm Unova's my kind of base here, but it doesn't have to be.
Fair.
It could be Hoenn or whatever. Actually, Hoenn could be a very good one. Actually, come to think of it, because you have the land and sea and an air situation. So like any
Nah,
one of those three.
7.8, too much water.
Well, do you know? Well, wouldn't that be interesting if that like if you had say it'd be the first time you could actually do a Legends split in the game, where like say if it was a Shadow Groudon, everything has gone into like fucking desert essentially, and if it's Shadow
Yep.
Kyogre, everyone's on fucking boats. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then the overall threat then could be a Shadow Rayquaza. I don't know. Like, we'll take your pick really. So that could work as a concept, but again, it's the gameplay concept has to be what do you do with the Shadow Pokemon? Like, what is your role in this whole thing? And like surely the character like again like I think the whole point of like Legends EA is that you're kind of like like there's some sort of like kind of weird like almost anti-vigilante group that's like like clean the streets up type of thing. um so you'd be doing something, doing a kind of like a similar kind of setup where like you're trying to find Shadow Pokemon and cleanse them or whatever, and then that whatever mechanic they work out then for cleansing is the core gameplay. And whether it ends up being battling or it's anything but battling is as opposed to the conversation that we had then with the
Yeah.
people designing it. Like I said, like you can't, there's no point doing the happiness kind of index because that's already been done.
That's already
And
done, yeah.
Yeah, so it needs to be something else. Like, so it's a case of like, or do you know what? It could be it could be a very in-depth thing where it's a case of like this is not like like we're all dog owners, let's say, and you recognize the kind of the needs and wants of your pets, and it's a case of like, wait, what does the pet need, as opposed to what does it want, and should it have what it wants, and that sort of stuff, you know. So like, it'd be a case of like, let's just say you have a shadow Pokemon and it's of a certain nature, it's got a certain typing and stuff like this, and your arbitrary fucking guide says, well, if it's rash and it's a dragon, maybe don't make it battle, it's gonna go into a frenzy. You need to nurse it to health. You need it for it to be benign or something. Look, yeah, I'm spitballing here, but like every Pokemon has.
Did you get lost here?
A little bit, yeah. Actually, I did, yeah. I will admit that. But I'm just thinking, like every Pokemon that you would have in the game has some sort of like unique caring mechanism. Like, you need to be able to. You can't just do what we have in this game, for example, where just pick the Pokemon, just use it in battle, or rub some incense into its fur, and then after like about 10 grand's worth of fucking incense, it's properly cured. You know, that's not really
in fairness, I think they, it's absolutely a weakness that like Pure Frank, don't go north. Think about your map.
I know, it's okay, it's good.
Just go left, Mickey.
Exactly. So like I said, like, so something like that, I think you could certainly adapt to it be a Legends experience. But again, it's also like.
By the way, I wanted to just point out, because I don't think I pointed out before, they're Sudowoodo statues.
Yes, and isn't it? It's pretty much all the shadow Pokemon of the Snagums is all the statues.
Yeah, I just caught that detail there.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's nice touch.
It really is. Like, that's the kind of detail that I'm like, this is where this game this is where this game is able to shine.
Yeah. And yeah, and again, I think we said before, I still left stuff on the table. Like, I kind of want, like, I wanted more of the of what it was offering, and like, as criticisms go, that's really not a bad thing.
Okay, so you've mugged half the people on this floor. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, not everyone. Some people have sprung a surprise. But I would say, even I'm thinking, like, if it was a map like, say, Hoenn or Unova, like, it'd be nice to be able to say, do almost like what the Pokemon Ranger series did, and it's not a case of like, these characters have been around this land before, so it's no surprise to them having to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to have a similar situation where, like, okay, we have assignments in Lily Cove, Moss Slip, and Pacific Log. Which one do you want to do first? Okay, let's do Lily Cove first, then we'll do this, and then we do that, come back to base and see who you've rescued, type of shit. And you basically roam around the map as free as you require. That, I think, will be better, because, like, again, it's just something different in a sense where, like, you don't have to unlock the land naturally. The land is all there for you. It's just going to be a completely open world experience in that respect, you know.
We've got Brickbot playing Omega Ruby at the minute, and Loudred is one of the ones she has gone for at the minute.
In fairness, it is a sound It is a sound type Pokemon, so
I haven't told her it evolves again.
You will hear her when it does, which if anything is appropriate.
Absolutely.
So I love the idea, hypothetically, that, like, she just would just like walking past you as you said that, and now she's like spoiled it. You accidentally spoiled it on her, but then she can also get, like, really excited.
No. She's very slowly getting through it.
Okay.
So we'll see if and when. But again, it's that's one thing that I'll say. It's always fun seeing this franchise from someone else's point of view.
Yeah.
Like what seems like it's obvious for me, or what seems like, I've gone through these so many times. Like, you think about if you were going back to, if you were to give Red to your niece or your nephew and say, here you go, good luck with that. How raging would they be to find out, I have to bribe the security guard in order to get into Saffron?
I wouldn't even go so far as when if you just anyone who hasn't played the original game at the time, it is a bit of a mindfuck for them because, like, I remember someone like doing like Pokemon Fire Red, like Pokemon Red for the first time on their stream, and like it's a totally alien experience. Like we're having to coach you in the group chat like in the stream chat saying, okay, you have picked hard modes, well done, but you're going to need, if you're gonna beat Brock, you need actually to catch some shit. Go over that side and catch these two things, and you'll be fine. You know, like in a way, you have to genuinely fucking. Oh, you got no. Sorry, I tell you, like, it was Pokemon Yellow he picked. So it's a case like as the first time he's played Pokemon Yellow. So like he started off with Pikachu, which is even worse. Like like you effectively having to make life harder for yourself. You know.
Yep.
But again, it's
how well equipped are we now? I just see how much is throwing the hyper potions out. I'm like, oh, should they be getting measured out bit by bit?
Yeah. Well, in fairness, like again, this is an area of I'm not aware of where how many healing points there are, so I'm just I'm doing some field medicine just in case.
Oh yeah, I'm always one for scrounging on those items.
Yeah. I suppose that the one thing on that conversation is like, what will be the biggest like difficulty? I think it is the typing. Like, you know, I think it is the typing. Some of it is logical enough, but then some of them are a bit more like you have to think them through a little bit, or they're just arbitrarily done for balancing purposes. You know, So some things make sense, but then other things it would like if you applied that same logic, shouldn't work. Like poison is super effective against bug. You might say, okay, bug poison is a thing. Yes,
but no, it's also the exact opposite logic is used later on, which is like, bugs can survive an inordinate amount of shit.
Yeah. But again, it's also like kind of argues into what like how broadly did he treat the bug typing kind of semantics? You know how like a dragon can be anything from a fucking lizard to a dinosaur, you know, kind of way. So there's that kind of argument to it as well. I think again, like from what I can gather from him, it was the typing and then also like just the basic mechanics. So like, for instance, like Gen 1 is not a good example because Gen 1 is programmed arseways, and that's fair enough. Yeah. Like it's the first time this has ever been done. Totally understandable, you know. Things
like there is a special and there is a physical stat.
Yes,
and
so it'll depend. To get your head around. Yeah. Depending
on the type that you're using, all fire moves will always take from the special stat. That is never explained at any point.
No, it's not, and it's also that where, especially like, it would be worse if you're coming back from playing a modern game where all the moves have a logical sense to them. Like a flamethrower is a special move because it's a beam, but a fire punch is a physical attack. That makes 1,000,000,000% sense. But then you go back then to Gen 1 or Gen 2, and you will have an Ampharos that will murder everything in sight because it has Ice Punch, Fire Punch, and Thunder Punch, and a special attack that will murder anything in sight. You know, like that doesn't compute. You know, but that's the metagaming side of it as well, is like finding the stuff that absolutely works for this exact game, you know. Like I still
have high hopes for Champions, the app, whenever it comes out.
Yeah, that's what, it's interesting they've kind of gone out and said that this is now the base for competitive going forward. I was very kind of taken aback with that because I felt like they would be so married to the main kind of canon of games, but the fact that they have actually said no, this is where this is what we're going to be using going forward because we can just constantly update it and put in new mechanics and new Pokemon. It's like,
I love that.
Shit, you've listened. You've taken on the advice. Holy shit! Like, I'm actually really impressed.
No, it's fantastic. It means that and again, I'll just use a pure example here. Let's say we find out that Ancient Power is busted. That can be a stat that can be decreased on the fly without needing to go and modify a biggest game.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Instead of something being an 85 power move, hey, let's just knock it down to 80 and like let the game rebalance.
Yeah. like I say,
Fantastic.
you can literally have like a set of rules listed on the game saying this is the fucking World Championship rules for 2025. These teams are banned. These moves are banned, and
Yeah.
just set your fight to that level.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Such good future. That was such good future proofing because if Gen 10 turns out to be a crock of shite, that's fine. Like it doesn't affect the competitive scene at all. Like it's
Absolutely.
now annexed from it. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've said before, I would love to see this be like we've talked about bringing our Pokemon Madness series forward and bringing our other friends into it as well, bringing them in more.
Yeah.
We can do this with Champions now.
Yep, it's exactly what we were asking for. Like at the time, was like if only we had a standalone thing, we could set ourselves our little kind of challenges. Like you need to do a Gen 2 team only. You need to do a Gen 14, wherever the fuck it will end up being. Now we literally have that exact luxury that we wanted this whole time, which is fantastic.
The only thing I'm hoping for is artwork from that game gets loaded in.
That would be nice, but I think that I would say that might be
A step
depends
too
on
far.
yeah, I think it would be a step too far. I think like if we get the mechanics from those gens, I think we'd be doing well.
Yeah,
And
very true.
and even then, I think that could be like Gen 1 might be revised quite a bit, considering how much the numbers broke back then. So, you know, again, we'll not to say we had not have a choice to it, but we will take whatever we're given and work with it. You know, that's for sure.
All right. So just back and looking at this here now. At this stage, is there any shadows you would still consider adding to your team? With
Yeah, there's any pseudo legendaries. If I'd be expecting at least one or two to show up towards the end of the game. So
if the pseudo legendary, if a pseudo came up, who's on the chopping block?
Vibrava would be, yeah, because that's my sixth choice.
Okay.
Like in fairness, like I've got Espeon and Umbreon are like the. I'm going with the spirit of the game here. If they gave me Espeon and Umbreon to start the game, I'm going to use them. And if I'm being given the three legendary dogs, I'm going to use them, even if it spites me. So there is only one spot available, and that's literally for whoever fits the puzzle piece the best. So
yeah, and this was the surprise unveiling of Garchomp. Just to let you know.
yes, I remember that. Like this. Oh my god, there's a land shark in Pokemon Coliseum. Yeah, that's right, man. Whatever.
Yeah.
Sure, hon. Are you sure you just got looking at Sharpedo upside down?
I love the individual animations to get.
Like I said, like this is one that kind of like that did so well with the like having such a limited set of Pokemon, because it means that like everything can look perfect, look nice and ideal and the way they should, rather than just having like template fucking animations and stuff.
Yeah,
it is a kind of thing where like the more you look at like say like the 2D games are not necessarily fair because they're naturally going to be constricted, and that's almost part of their charm, is that you have to almost use your imagination to imagine what an ice beam is, or whatever. But now that you have the luxury of 3D, the player is now going to presume it's going to have a 3D experience in that like if you're going to have a battle animation, you're going to show me the whole thing. Like that was really evident in Sword and Shield, where clearly they just imported some of their kind of 2D animations into a 3D space, and it was like, that's lazy. But it's not lazy mainly because like you just have so much to import and so much to correct that you've basically given up and accepted that it's gonna look shite. What was the move that always makes you laugh? Darkness Lariat is the funniest one, right? Because in Sun and Moon, only one Pokemon has it, which is Incineroar, of course. Yeah. And it works for him because his dimensions works for the spinning animation, where he does the spinning animation and collides into your opponent. But they make Darkness Lariat a TM in that game, which is totally fair. It rightfully is a technique you should learn. But then watch what happens when the Machamp does it, or a fucking Poliwrath. It looks fucking stupid, It's the same base animation that was in Sun and Moon. They just never changed it. or they didn't change it
Okay.
enough for it to not look shit. You know?
I'm going to throw that up here just to take a look.
Yeah.